I help you with something?
I'm Amy Williams, the housekeeper.
I'm sorry, the what?
Amy, hi. I hope you found the place okay. You can get started upstairs. Just go down the hallway and the staircase is on your right.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Irving.
Oh dear, please call me Nicole.
All right, Nicole. And you are Mr.
Dr. Irving.
Right, Dr. Irving.
Passed out on the couch again, seriously? You couldn't even drag your ass up to the guest room?
You hired a housekeeper? What the hell for?
Because this place looks like trash.
What does it matter to you? Aren't you going to be playing house with your little boy soon?
Little boy, please. He's more of a man than you'll ever be. In more ways than one.
So he's a man now. And when did all this happen?
Frank, I have to go to work. I'm giving a midterm today. I don't have time for this.
And I do? I have a new patient coming here this morning.
A patient? Coming here? Since when do you see patients in our home?
It's a unique case. It was all brought together by the state program. I figured I'd do it here. It's a more intimate setting.
Oh, yes. No, it just screams intimacy. Don't worry about Amy. I told her to stay upstairs.
That's beside the point. Now answer me. Why is she here to clean when you're moving it? You changed your mind, didn't you? Son of a...
Frank, don't give me that. I told you Zach and I moving in together wasn't definite.
And what you're telling me is you want to stay here now. That after the countless hours you spent bad-mouthing this place, and all the apartment searching you've done with that little sack of crap, you want to stay here?
Yes, I want to stay here. Why should I be the one to move out? Zach says you should be the one to move out, and I completely agree.
So now he's trying to tell me what I should do with my life. Fantastic! You know, your little boy toy never ceases to amaze me with his infinite wisdom.
Okay, bottom line is I want the house and you want the house. So it looks like we're going to have to sell. Unless you want to buy me out. Oh, wait, you don't have enough money to buy me out. So it looks like we're selling.
I can't believe this. Jesus Christ almighty.
Excuse me, Nicole.
What's here?
Did you want the towels in the bathroom changed?
That's all right, sweetie. I already changed them.
Okay, just checking.
I figured it would come to this. That's why I hired Amy. I certainly don't have the time to make this place presentable for a buyer.
Of course, because you always think ahead, right? Well, did it ever occur to you that all my records and files are here? That I'll have to relocate everything now?
Frank, this is my house too, you know.
Please. Everything I need for my career is right here. The only thing you need from this house is that mattress upstairs.
I would very much appreciate it if you didn't speak to me in that manner. Now, I'm willing to sell, and the extra money certainly wouldn't hurt us. And you should be happy I'm even agreeing to do this, because I can make this whole thing a hell of a lot worse. Now, I have to go, and you better get ready for your patient.
God damn it, Nicole, don't walk away like this.
I believe that's what I'm doing. Amy will let herself out around noon. Oh my God, may I help you?
My name is John Danes. I'm here to see Dr. Irving. Sorry if I startled you.
Oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. Doctor, your patient is here. I hope you're ready to work.
Sorry for being late. I got lost once I got off the highway.
Yeah, it happens to a lot of people. I'm Dr. Irving. So it says here you've been on parole for 3 weeks now.
5, actually.
Right, of course, I see. Well, you know, you're actually the first patient I've had in this program, so bear with me. Right, so we can begin whenever you're ready. If you want, we can talk about the penitentiary or how you've been occupying your time these past few weeks.
Right to the point, huh?
Figure since those events are more recent, we should begin there.
Fair enough, I guess.
Well, we don't have to. It's entirely up to you. It's just a suggestion.
I guess we could start from the penitentiary. You know, I hate to disappoint you, but it's hardly the spectacle everyone makes it out to be. It's basically the same thing every day, the same routine. You're always surrounded by the same cliques. It's, oh, and you're constantly getting screamed at. It's basically like high school. Well, minus the females, of course.
So when you say cliques, what do you mean?
You know, murderers hang with murderers, thieves hang with thieves, perverts hang with perverts, people hang with their own.
So I guess you hung out with thieves then.
Of course. If you don't find yourself right away in there, everyone will walk all over you.
And how are you taking care of yourself now that you're back on the outside?
One day at a time.
Nicole, Oh, I'm sorry.
What can I help you with?
I was wondering where the clean bed sheets were.
Linen closet, end of hall, bottom shelf. Please stay upstairs until I call you.
Okay, thank you.
I was just a housekeeper.
Jittery little thing, isn't she?
Never mind her. Well, you think we should talk about why you were sent to prison in the first place?
Seems only fair. What do you want to know?
It says here you stole a Chevy Cobalt from the department store parking lot you worked at. Drove it to your ex-girlfriend's house and broke in.
That's what I did.
John, don't you think we should discuss this?
Not much to discuss, really. I mean, all I can say is I snapped.
You snapped.
Yeah, I snapped. My job was screwing me over. My girlfriend had just cheated on me. I was angry and I snapped. No, most people are able to fight off her just like that. But for whatever reason, I couldn't that day. I'm not the first person it's happened to, right?
No. Sometimes life gives us more than we can handle and we lose control. You do realize what you did was wrong, right?
Do you really have to ask me that?
Suppose not. I do have one question for you, though.
Shoot.
When you snapped, what'd that feel like?
To be honest, it felt like a heavy weight had finally lifted off my chest. To have that kind of anger inside of you and to just let it out. It was the best feeling in the world. Why?
Just curious. Let's continue.
Hi, yes. Okay, so I've been speaking with the realtor for the past few days, and he says that the homes around here are selling like crazy. So I'm really optimistic that this will all be over soon. Yeah, okay. All right, so I'll see you later for dinner. Okay, all right. I love you, Dad. Okay, bye. All finished upstairs, Amy?
Not yet. I'm looking for my cell phone. I'm expecting a very important call, and I could have sworn I've left it here somewhere.
Oh, well, I don't see it. Hopefully it turns up. You can just use the doctor's phone to call it, okay? All right, I have to head to work. I'll see you later.
Okay, have a good day.
Goodbye, Amy.
Oh, thanks.
To the herb man?
Yeah, a former student of mine used to call me that, and the name sort of stuck. Gave me this when I left.
You were a teacher? When did you teach?
Years ago, through that job that I met Nicole.
Oh, my mom was a teacher. She retired last year.
Oh yeah? So, are your parents from around here?
No, Las Vegas, actually. That's where I was born.
Really? And what made you decide to move to Los Angeles?
Well, I figured when I was younger that, I'd start acting and...
No kidding. You're an actress.
Former actress. Seeing as the only role I managed to get in the entire time I was out here was a brief walk-on role for a play, I figured it really wasn't for me. But I didn't entirely give up on theater, though. That's the phone call I'm waiting for. One of my friends is now the artistic director at the theater where I had my walk-on role, and he said he was interested in producing one of my plays.
Really? Damn, I had a rising playwright work for me the whole time and I didn't even know it.
I certainly wouldn't go that far.
In all seriousness, it's really amazing, and I wish you the best of luck, or break a leg, as you artsy people say. Although I'm not really sure if that applies to writers.
I don't think so, but thank you regardless.
Well, since we're on the subject of writing, I know it's not a play, but I have done a bit of writing myself.
Mind Games, A Look Inside the Mind, by Dr. Frank Irving. Wait, you wrote this?
I did. Had all my classes use it when I was teaching.
That's incredible. So you're a published author.
I am.
Introduction. Despite the countless advancements a man has made, sometimes he finds himself doomed because of circumstances beyond his control. That's some pretty pessimistic stuff.
I wouldn't call making observations that have been proven true countless times pessimistic.
Sounds like you've got kind of a dark side.
We all do to some extent.
I wouldn't say I agree with that.
Now, come on. In your whole life, no one's ever found an aspect of your personality or anything you've done to be a little troubling?
Well, I have been told from time to time that my writing's a little dark, so I guess that counts.
Really, I'm surprised to hear that. What kind of plays do you write?
Mainly murder mysteries. I grew up reading Agatha Christie, so I guess it was inevitable.
I see. Very, very interesting. Well, you know, I still talk with a lot of people in the publishing company. Maybe they know a literary agent looking to represent a young murder mystery playwright.
Wait, are you saying you would tell them about me?
Sure, why not?
For starters, you don't know anything about my play.
So send it to me and I'll read it. I mean, can't hurt anyway, especially when a theater's considering producing it.
I don't know what to say. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, worst comes to worst, if this writing thing doesn't take it off, you can always become a shrink.
I'm not too sure about that, Dr. Irving.
Yeah, these days I'm not too sure about it either. Honestly, my patients call me Dr. Irving. Call me Frank. We're both writers after all.
All right, Frank.
You know, I've always wanted to write a play myself. I'd love to take a crack at it again. It's so hard to get excited about anything with sure you noticed.
Yeah. My parents split up when I was 15. I still remember all their fights. I never thought they would be happy again, but as soon as my dad moved out and the papers were signed and the divorce was over and done with, they proved me wrong.
It's good to know they're happy now.
They are. Oh, if you don't mind, I'll just...
Oh, please.
Now I remember. I left it on the shelf in the bathroom. I swear, I am the most disorganized person I know.
You clearly don't know me too well just yet. Just be sure to let me know any news about your play.
I definitely will.
Morning, John.
Morning, Doc. You know, I remember my father had a pen that looked just like that.
Is that right? Is your father still alive?
No idea. Took off when I was 11.
That must be quite rough for you.
My mother certainly didn't help the situation. She always struggled with depression, and once my father left, she had an all-time low.
Yeah, marriage falling apart can do that to certain people. So how'd you cope with your father leaving your mother's depression?
Had to learn to take care of myself, you know? Most of the time, my mother just sat up in her bed and bawled her eyes out. I became the man of the house, and in most cases, the adult too. I learned a lot being on my own, though.
What do you mean?
I learned how to survive.
Were you ever on the streets?
For a while, yeah. After I dropped out of high school, I went from city to city looking for work.
And how'd you make out?
It was rough. Jumping from place to place like that, you always got to worry about what you're going to eat that given day, where you're going to spend each night.
So what'd you do for food?
I did what I had to do.
You mean steal?
Yeah, I mean steal. You know, it was either that or go crawling back to my sniveling vegetable of a mother.
And how long did this lifestyle continue?
For a while, that was until I got busted for stealing some guy's Mercedes.
Stole a Mercedes?
I really don't understand your surprise. I mean, I wound up in prison this past time for stealing a car after all. Doesn't it say somewhere on my file I've been to prison once before?
Of course, but why did you steal a Mercedes? Did you snap the same way you did with your ex-girlfriend?
I was at a casino, and some rich guy screwed me over in a card game. So, on the way out, I bumped into him, got a hold of his keys, and I decided to show him how high and mighty he was. Keep in mind, this was a number of years ago.
So was your first time in prison a lot worse than this past time?
I wouldn't say a lot worse, you know. I certainly learned a lot from my first time in the joint, like what to do, what not to do, stuff like that.
And did you fall in with dangerous people the first time around?
I met this guy who was in for murder. We had gotten into a couple of heated arguments, and then one day, he jumped me in the laundry room.
He jumped you.
Yeah, the bastard came at me with a shank.
So what'd you do?
Oh, I know how to fight, plain and simple. I got in a couple good hits. Coward couldn't take it. Next thing I know, never mind, forget it. Forget it.
Forget what? John, whatever it is you can tell me. Everything in this room is confidential. Everything.
After I hit him a couple times, I grabbed a hold of his shank, and I drove it into his gut.
Wait, are you trying to tell me you killed him?
That's what I'm telling you.
You actually killed him.
Hey, you said this was confidential.
It is. I'm just trying to digest all this. I mean, you didn't just steal a car, you stole a life. Jesus.
For God's sake, Doc. It's not like I shanked some little old lady stepping out of a bingo hall. He was trying to kill me, and I killed him first.
So, what happened after you shanked him?
His body was discovered later that evening. Some of the prisoners questioned, but that was about it. The guy had enemies all over the place, so much so that my name never even made it onto the suspect list.
So you got away with it.
I did.
Where'd you find the power to do this? Where'd you find that power to kill?
I did what I had to do, simple as that.
What'd it feel like? What'd it feel like to murder someone?
Why do you want to know?
I just think it's something we should address.
All right. Nothing. I felt absolutely nothing.
You felt nothing.
Not a goddamn thing. Now, I like to tell you that I puked my guts out when I got back to my cell. Oh, that I got down on both knees and I prayed for forgiveness. But I felt absolutely nothing. It was as meaningless as brushing my teeth or putting on my shoes, and that's the goddamn truth.
Well, if that's how you felt. I mean, we don't have control over how we feel. We only have control over what we do. Let's move along.
Jesus,
What?
you scared the hell out of me.
Well, excuse me for walking around my home.
What are you doing up so late?
I was working on some old storylines. Why do you care?
Are we a little old to be writing stories, Frank?
Don't talk to me about age. What is flowers? What's next? A corsage and a invite to the prom?
Oh, cute.
The realtor called while you were out.
Oh,
Yeah, he was telling me about the potential buyers of Mr. and Mrs. Harrison. He said he was over here with them last Thursday night.
yes, they stopped by. And I met with them. They're a lovely couple, and they're interested.
So you had the realtor and these people over while I was out.
Yes, while you were out. What was I supposed to tell them? Oh, no, you can't come now. My soon-to-be ex-husband is getting drunk at some cheap bar.
You could have at least told me that when they got home, after I got home that night.
Well, I would have, but I didn't feel like waiting up for you.
And in the time since, you didn't think about saying anything?
Why? So we could have this conversation sooner?
God damn it, Nicole, it's my house too!
It was your house, Frank. Now, I don't have all the details yet, but I'm willing to bet that Mr. and Mrs. Harrison are willing to give us well above the asking price. So, you turn them down, and not only will we lose out on a great deal, but we'll continue to be at each other's throats like this for God knows how long.
Unbelievable. 1 minute you're telling me you want to stay at the house. The next minute you're telling me it's sold. For Christ's sake, I haven't started looking for a place yet.
Oh, don't put that on me, Frank. You've known about this for how long? You haven't even started looking yet? Look, I don't have time for this. I need to get up early tomorrow and get ready for the weekend teachers conference. Did you see where I put the... God damn it. What the hell?
Quite a card.
It's none of your goddamn business. Don't go through my personal things ever again.
So tonight was your 1-year anniversary.
Frank, I'm not playing games. Let's not do this.
5 months ago was when you told me you're involved with them, yet the card clearly states that it was your 1-year anniversary. So which is it?
It's our 1-year anniversary.
So you've been together for a whole year, yet you didn't tell me until 7 months in.
Yes. know, but the marriage was falling apart. We were just going through the motions.
That's beside the point. What you're telling me is that you are rocking the cradle, Zach, and then coming on to me?
Frank, please, look, after everything we've been through, let's not do this.
How could you do this to me?
What? What about what you did to me? What about the fact that I needed you and you weren't there? I needed you, especially after I lost the baby.
Don't you dare bring that in. It has nothing to do with
It has everything to do with it, and you know it. Where were you when I needed you? I'll tell you where you were. You were falling down drunk at some bar somewhere. That was the worst time of my life, and you just discarded me like a piece of trash. Do you know how long I waited to get pregnant? How long I prayed? A part of me died when we lost her, Frank, okay? A part of me died.
A part of me died too.
No.
You want to talk about where I was? How about we talk about where you were instead, huh? Tell me, where were you, Nicole? Meeting with Zach after class.
Enough.
Taking off his clothes.
Frank, stop.
Lying down next to him.
Frank, for the love of God, stop it.
You ripped my heart out, you didn't care!
Frank, please, just look, let me.
Don't you have to pack for your conference in the morning?
Morning, Doc.
Sorry, I just woke up. Now let's see, we'll get started in a second.
Jeez. Must have been one crazy night, huh?
What?
I said it must have been one crazy night with what you just waking up and all.
I was up late doing some work on your case and I fell asleep.
Fell asleep at your desk, huh? I'm guessing the missus didn't see you on her way out then.
Apparently not.
What about that jittery little thing? She didn't try to wake you up, did she?
Jittery little thing. Oh, you mean Amy? No, today's her day off. Now, if we're off the subject of my sleeping habits, I'd like to get started.
You're the boss. This is our last session.
Excuse me?
This is the last session the program's paying for.
Today is,
Thursday.
so it is. Forgive me, let's get right to it.
Are you all right, Doc?
Fine. Let's concentrate on you for the time being. How's your job been going?
As expected, there's only so much excitement one experiences while flipping burgers at a fast food joint.
Still it's something.
Yeah, whatever you say.
Would you rather be doing something else?
Absolutely. You know, I may be back out in the real world, but I still feel like I'm behind bars.
So why is that?
Take a look at everything going on in my life right now. My shit job, my shit apartment, and there's my wonderful parole officer who practically turns my place upside down every time he comes around.
Well, you have to understand that's standard parole procedure.
I know. But I used to live out on the streets without a penny to my name, remember? If I can make it on my own then, I sure as hell should be able to make it on my own now. It's just... forget it.
What?
I was just thinking how important one little thing can be in the long run. In my case, it's a picture on a cell phone.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the day that I snapped. I was at work and my boss started screaming at me because I set up some display at the end of the aisle wrong. Everyone in the store starts staring at me and I have two thoughts that flash through my mind. One is telling me to screw this whole thing and get the hell out of there. And the other is my girl. She's back at her place and she's wearing the new pair of panties I bought her and is begging me to come to bed. See, I realized then and there, I need this job no matter how much it sucks. I need it for her. I need it so I can keep on buying her things like that, so that way one day we can start sharing a life together. Just as I'm about to reach the display, my phone buzzes. Pull it out of my pocket. I see I got a picture from some block number. It's a picture of a guy in bed with some girl. But it's not just any girl, it's my girl. And the pair of panties I bought her is wrapped around her ankles. I know, right? The other man had the balls to send that to me. Next thing I know, I'm ripping car keys out of some customer's hand and racing to the parking lot. You know, I guess what I'm trying to tell you is if I hadn't received that picture at that exact moment, I wouldn't have snapped. I wouldn't have been sent back to the joint, and I wouldn't have had these people breathing down my neck. I'll be carrying on with my happy self without a care in the world. Aren't you going to answer that?
No, this is more important.
Answer, it's driving me crazy.
Hello? Really? Yeah, I'm surprised they closed so soon. Uh-huh. Well, I'm with the patient right now. Okay. Sorry, that was just the realtor.
I didn't know you were selling this place.
That doesn't concern you. John, I want to ask you something. I want the truth.
Truth about what?
After you stole the car, you drove to your ex-girlfriend's house and broke in, right?
Yeah.
And she wasn't home, correct?
Right, and then one of her neighbors called the police. You know this. Why are you...
If she were home that night, what would you have done?
What would I have done? As you know, I was out to hurt her.
Would you have killed her?
Excuse me?
Or me, would you have killed her?
You honestly think I would have murdered my ex-girlfriend like that in the middle of the day? I may have snapped, but I didn't lose my mind.
If you could have gotten away with it, would you have killed her?
Dr. Irving, I don't.
What did I tell you? I said I wanted the truth. You should know by now I'm sworn to secrecy, especially after the story you told me about the guy in the prison laundry room. Now answer the question. If you could have gotten away with it, would you have killed her?
Yes! Yes, I would have. You have to
Do you
understand...
want to know why my wife and I are getting a divorce?
Excuse me?
It was a Tuesday afternoon. Nicole had been dying to see this play for the past couple of months. And I was on my way home with the tickets when I pulled down the street and I saw that she was already home. Which was a surprise to me because just the day prior she told me she'd be working late. It was also this huge disappointment because I was planning this big surprise, have dinner ready and pull the tickets out. Something along those lines. Anyway, before I could show her the tickets, she takes me by the hand, sits me down at the kitchen table. She says she has something important to tell me, something that just couldn't wait. She tells me that she's fallen in love with someone else and that our marriage is over. Do you know who she fell in love with? Her 20-year-old college student. She was getting hot and heavy with a college kid for months. All the while, I was being played. I wasn't good enough for her, no matter what I did, no matter how hard I tried. In the end, I lost to a goddamn child. You want to know something? I still have those play tickets. Stuck them in our wedding album of all places.
I don't know what you want me to say. Dr. Irving, I honestly don't know what you want me
I want you to answer another question for me.
What is that?
Could you kill my wife?
What?
You heard me.
All right. I see what's going on here. I gotta give that sneaky bastard some credit.
What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, cut this shit. I know my parole officer put you up to this. I've heard crazy stories about parole officers screwing over their parolees. This is something else.
Is that what you think this is?
Oh, for God's sake, Doc, drop the act. You couldn't have made it any more obvious. What's the plan? I say yes, you tell me where to go, there'll be a bunch of cops waiting to haul my ass back to prison?
Hey, You were the one who said you wanted to make it on your own. If anything's going to help you make it on your own, it's money. You know it, and I know it. I can give you $30,000.
That's it. I'm done.
Where are you going?
Home. Enough is enough. How about you save yourself any more embarrassment?
Do you actually believe what you just told me? You actually think that I'm working with your parole officer? Nobody's stupid enough to believe something like that, especially someone like you.
You're serious. You want me to kill your wife for $30,000?
Fine. I'll make it $35,000. I just need to know if you're in or not.
Well, Jesus. It's not like you're asking me to do your grocery shopping, you know?
No, no. You know, if anyone can pull this off, it's you. You've done it before, only this time it's not a murder trying to drive a shank to your gut.
Dr.
Frank.
All right, Frank. Even if I was interested, I'm afraid it's not that simple. Killing a con in prison is nothing like what you're asking me to do. The two circumstances couldn't be any more different.
Circumstances may be different, but the end result's the same. Dead is dead. Killing is killing. Killed before, you should be able to kill again.
Oh, and how exactly am I going to kill your wife?
I'll provide you with all the details. You just have to do it.
Yeah, easier said than done. You're not the one with the parole officer breathing down your neck every time you look so cross-eyed. Anyway, I gotta go.
Can't leave like this.
I think we can both agree that this session's over. And besides, if you really want me to consider this, I'm gonna need time to think it over. There's a lot to consider.
I know. Just remember what I said.
And what is that?
35,000.
I'll keep in touch, Frank.
I see I've inspired you to get into the theater business.
Huh?
Untitled Murder Mystery Play by Frank Irvin.
Yeah, I was started working on this a little while ago. Given all our talks, I figured I might as well take a stab at writing for the stage. I'm currently stuck on the opening, though. Just had a lot on my mind lately.
But that's exciting, you're writing again. You'll have to keep me posted on how it comes along. Are you seeing any patients today?
No, I don't see patients on Fridays.
Oh, that's good. I can't remember the last time I had a day off, to be honest.
You know, I've been meaning to ask you. Did your friend ever get back to you about your play?
He did. He said they've decided to produce it for their upcoming season.
Amy, that's wonderful! Congratulations!
Thanks. I've never had any of my work produced before, so I guess it'll be a really great experience.
Well, you know, I reached out to some old contacts at the publishing company, and they gave me the contact information for a literary agent right here in Los Angeles. I've been telling them all about you.
Really?
I told them you might be having a production of your work coming up soon, and I would keep them posted on any updates. Looks like I have to shoot them an email tonight and tell them the good news. I can't see how he'll turn down reading your play now, especially when I told him how good it was.
Once again, thank you so much. Everything is happening so fast. I just don't know what to do.
I'll tell you what to do. Just find out when the theater's putting on your play and let me know. I'd love to come.
Oh, Frank, you don't have to do that.
I want to. Just keep me in the loop, okay?
I definitely will. Listen, I know you're selling the house, and I was wondering if you found another place yet.
No, not yet. Why?
Well, the reason I'm asking is because when my dad moved out, he had a real hard time managing his house. So I wanted you to know that when you do find a place, feel free to give me a call. I really liked working for you, so I figured I'd offer.
I'll keep that offer in mind. Thank you. You know, Amy, you never fail to brighten my day.
May I help you?
Well, hello there.
You are...
John Danes.
It's okay, Amy. I'll take care of it.
Okay. I'll be back tomorrow.
What the hell are you doing here?
I was in town and I figured I'd get back to you about your offer from yesterday. Let's hear the details.
I have a seat.
Are you sure you want to be discussing something like this with,
Her name's Amy. She'll be upstairs working all day, so we'll be alone. Alright, so given that we're closed on the house soon, and my wife is leaving for a conference tonight in the city, that'll have to happen tomorrow night. That'll be your best opportunity.
Tomorrow night's Saturday night. What's happening then?
That's when the professors all get together for a late dinner after the conference. It's near the hotel. So when Nicole leaves the hotel and arrives back, when she leaves the restaurant and arrives back to the hotel, that'll be your best chance to catch her alone.
What hotel is this?
The Sutherland Hotel. It's by,
Yeah, I know where it is. You expect me to travel that far into the city?
For 35 grand, yeah, I do.
It's gonna have to be 40 then.
What? $40,000.
You think I can head into the city without a care in the world? I'm on parole, remember? I'm putting myself at risk just by being here now, let alone going into the city for something like that. If I'm gonna take this kind of risk, then it needs to be 40.
Well, I guess I just don't have a choice then, huh? Fine. 40,000 it is.
And where exactly are you gonna get all that money? You walk into a bank and withdraw that kind of amount before your wife is murdered, and it's gonna raise a lot of eyebrows.
It won't be a problem. Since our marriage has been falling apart, I've been slowly taking money out of my savings account. I've had some of my patients pay me in cash. Little by little, I've been putting it into the safety deposit box. I've been doing this for quite some time. It's added up.
Does the missus know about this hidden income?
No.
You're just breaking all kinds of laws nowadays, aren't you, Doc?
Nobody knows about this. Now, do you want it or not?
As long as I get it, I don't care where it comes from.
Good. So how familiar are you with the hotel?
Please, you honestly think you can afford to stay at a place like that?
All right, so here's the hotel, and here's the front entrance. Across the street is a parking lot. There's no valet parking. I drove to the hotel last night and saw that they were in the process of ripping up the front end of this parking lot.
You drove there last night? God damn, Frank, you really went all out for this.
Could we focus, please? The restaurant's about 20 minutes away. They'd usually go around 8 whenever I took her, and we'd get back to the hotel around 10. When my wife returns to the hotel parking lot, she'll have to park in one of these spaces near the back. That's when you have to make your move.
Make my move.
Kill her. Kill her the way you deal with that guy in the prison laundry room.
You want me to shank your wife?
Do you have any other ideas?
Don't you think, if I randomly pop up out of the darkness, drive a shank into your wife's gut, then take off running, that won't seem a bit suspicious?
That's what I thought too, until I just read that there was a mugging on the same street 2 months ago. Now, if you kill her, you take her purse, and everyone just thinks that's just another mugging gone bad.
What about security cameras? Everybody's got them nowadays.
That's why this has to be done at the back of the lot. It's far enough from the hotel to be out of range for any cameras to pick up. Plus, given the overall lack of lighting in that area, even if a camera does manage to record something, it'll be too dark and blurry to analyze.
You know this for a fact.
If you have your doubts, then wear a ski mask and a hoodie, and just avoid attracting any unnecessary attention. There's a dumpster at the very back of the lot. Just hide behind it until it's time.
And when the time arrives, what if she's with someone? What do you expect me to do then?
She won't be with anyone.
How do you know?
You really think any of the professors want to carpool with a woman who slept with her students? Trust me, she won't be with anyone. She'll be all alone.
Still, that doesn't mean there won't be anybody at the parking lot at that time. If someone sees me attacking her and decides to play hero...
Hey, you were able to kill someone in the building swarming with guards.
Jeez, would you stop with that? This isn't prison.
No, it's not. This time you're getting paid $40,000 as opposed to doing it for free. Look, there's an alley adjacent to the parking lot here. Park at the opposite end of the alley and get to the parking lot, let's say 9:30. Hide behind a dumpster at the back of the lot and wait for my wife. She drives a red Impala. Once you see it, you wait for her to get out and then you go after her. Once you kill her, you chuck the person in the dumpster and head for the alley. Then get in your car and Get the hell out of there. You'll be home free before anyone figures out what's going on.
You do realize that if any part of this plan gets messed up or doesn't go the way you've anticipated, I'm screwed, right?
You won't get screwed. I thought long and hard about this and it would work.
Where exactly are you going to be during all this?
I'll be at a bar downtown. I'll leave around 10 o'clock. Hopefully it'll all be done by then.
I won't have the money first. You have to understand, when you've been out on the streets like I have, you learn to take all the necessary steps to make sure you don't get screwed over.
Fine. Stop by here tomorrow afternoon before you leave. You'll get the other $20,000 when it's done. No deal?
I believe we do. By the way, when you get back from the bar, be sure to sound genuine. I'd hate to think that I busted my ass just for you to screw it all up.
You do your job, I'll do mine.
I'll see you around, Frank.
Amy?
If the realtor calls for me, just tell him to call my cell. Frank.
Got it.
Okay. So I should be back Sunday evening.
Sunday evening.
Yes, I'm going to be meeting Zach on the way back up for lunch.
Sunday evening it is then.
Okay. Listen, I thought you could use this.
What's this?
It's a listing of available apartments. The closest one is about a half hour from here. I figured since you haven't been able to find one yet, maybe this could get you started.
Yeah, I'll hold on to it.
Okay. I better get going. You have the number to the hotel, right?
I do.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll see you Sunday. Goodbye, Frank.
And now we wait. Hello, yeah. This is Frank Irving. Oh my God. No. No. Come on, John, come on. Hello, this is Dr. Irving. What? Oh my God. What the hell took you so long?
I had a cop on my ass. You got the money?
It's on the it's on the desk. Have a seat. Here's the rest of it.
Are you all right, Tom?
No, I'm not. When I got home the other night, I noticed that no one had called here. I was worried something went wrong. Why didn't you call me?
You said to lay low. I mean, I figure with the police interviewing you, the last thing you needed was a call from me.
Cop said the scene was brutal. She didn't suffer, did she?
Let's just say she didn't go down without a fight.
What do you mean?
Oh, she kicked, she screamed, she scratched.
That's enough.
Fortunately, my skin wasn't exposed. You and I both know if she had managed to cut me and get my DNA under her fingernail, we'd both be screwed. So needless to say, I had to shake her more than once before she went down.
How much attention did you attract?
A few people near the hotel saw me stabbing her, but by the time they began running over, I was already leaving, so...
What'd you do to the purse?
After I took the money, I threw it into the dumpster.
Where'd you park your car?
Where you told me to park it. At the end of the opposite alley. I ran down the alley, climbed into my car, and got the hell out of there. I mean,
Did anyone in the alley see you?
no.
And what'd you do with your clothes in the shank?
When I got back to my apartment, I threw them out. They're probably at the bottom of some garbage dump by now.
Going back to the scene of the crime, did you wear the hood, the ski mask, the gloves?
Yes, yes, yes. For God's sake, Doc, enough! Do you really think I make stupid-ass mistakes like that?
Sorry, I just want to make sure. I mean, you took a tremendous risk doing this, but you pulled it off. You pulled it off.
We pulled it off, right? Hey, how's her little boyfriend holding up anyway?
The police told me that he dropped out of the university. He's a complete mess.
Woo! Talk about killing two birds with one stone.
Amy, you're early.
I thought you said 11.
No, I'm pretty sure it said noon.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt or anything.
It's okay. John and I are just finishing up.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to let you know that I'm so sorry. I've been worried sick about you. I'm so sorry for your loss, Frank.
Thank you, Amy. That means a lot.
Okay. I'll get started in the meantime. We'll talk later. Excuse me.
Goddamn Frank, you horny son of a bitch.
Excuse me? She's here to help her run the house.
Keep telling yourself that. Well, I better get going. I need to take care of some housework in case my parole officer decides to pop in for a visit. I'm sure you'll be taking care of some housework of your own as well.
Goodbye, John.
Hey, lighten up. After everything we've been through, I thought you'd be cracking jokes too. If my friends ever knock therapy, I'll be sure to tell them it's very beneficial, to say the least. Bye, Frank.
Finished?
Yeah, what's up?
I saw you had a bouquet of flowers on the dining room table that looked pretty dead, so
Oh, yeah, those. Nicole bought them just a few days. You can throw them out. I totally forgot all about them.
alright. How are you holding up?
Well, I guess I'm all right, all things considered, Taking things one day at a time.
Yeah. I can only imagine how my father would feel if something like this happened to my mother. After spending all those years with someone, to lose someone like that, it's absolutely horrible. My mother's always talking about stuff like this. A woman can't walk down the street anymore, it seems. I just pray the police find the one that's responsible.
Yeah, one can only hope.
Anyway, I just wanted to stop by and check on you and make sure you're okay.
Thank you, Amy. That means a lot.
Dr. Frank Irving,
Yes, can I help you, miss?
Detective Kate Isley, Homicide LAPD. My office should have informed you I'd be stopping by.
Oh, yes. Forgive me. I've been out of it lately.
I understand. I'm so sorry for your loss. If this is a bad time, I can come back later.
No, it's fine.
Thank you. I would have been here sooner, but I got lost on the way over.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of people.
Ah, this is quite a place you have here. Would you mind if I sat down?
Please. The police were saying that they started searching suspects in the area, someone who's possibly been arrested for muggings, stuff like that. I take it that's why you're here?
Well, yes and no. We were initially under the belief that Nicole's death was a mugging gone wrong, but upon further investigation, we now believe that isn't the case.
Excuse me?
Oh, I was taking care of the flowers like you asked.
Thank you, Amy. That's Amy Williams, our housekeeper. Now, you were saying?
Well, when I took over the investigation, I had the crime scene re-examined. I also took the time to look over everything we know so far. And now I'm under the belief that your wife's murder was premeditated.
Premeditated. I'm afraid I don't follow. The killer was a mugger, was he not? Maybe he took her purse and ran off, too.
Yes, but
And there have been recent muggings in the area, am I correct?
How do you know that?
Know what?
That there have been recent muggings in the area?
Heard about one in the news a month or so ago. Am I wrong?
No, I'm just surprised you remember that. I mean, this is LA. Crime happens here all the time. And for you to remember a particular crime on a particular street?
Well, when the police told me what happened, I looked up the area online and it directed me to a story which refreshed my memory.
I see. I guess I can understand why you might assume it was a botched mugging. That's what everyone down at the station, including myself, thought at first.
What made you change your mind then?
Well, a number of things. First, there was everything we were able to gather from the people who come in and out of the lot before Nicole was killed. They all said they remembered seeing what they thought was a homeless person lingering around the dumpster at the back of the lot.
Really?
Well, naturally, we checked all the hotel security cams to see if they caught anything, but unfortunately, the footage wasn't of much use, so I've had to rely solely on witnesses so far. But they all confirmed that someone was hanging around the area.
Excuse me for asking this, detective, but how do you know this person isn't actually just a bunch of different people? I mean, I've been to that lot before my wife, and I'd see certain people hang around here and there, but then they leave and someone else would show up. Maybe these witnesses are mistaking a bunch of people for a single person.
Well, that's an excellent point, and it was my initial thought as well. But then we found something that proved otherwise.
Oh?
We found shoe prints in the mud near the dumpster. Took molds of the prints, and they all come from the same pair of shoes. I spoke with the construction company, and they said the workers hadn't been there since before it rained on Saturday afternoon. So clearly, the shoe prints didn't belong to any of them.
I'm afraid I don't follow. What do shoe prints in the mud have to do with anything?
Well, they tell us that somebody was pacing back and forth by the dumpster for quite some time. If this person really was a homeless mugger, he would have had plenty of opportunity to rob someone else. The fact that he was biding his time, waiting for Nicole to show up, gives us every indication that he was there to murder her.
You really think so?
I know this is a lot to take in at once, but my department is still looking at the possibility that this guy is a local mugger. But our belief at the moment is what I just told you. Now I'm going to have to ask you some questions.
Sure. Any way I can help, let me know.
Well, I have here that you went to Jay's Bar on Miller Street that night.
Yes, that's correct.
I actually go to that place all the time myself.
Oh yeah, well, maybe we've met before.
I'm sure I remember. Anyway, I stopped by to see Jay the other day, and he told me that you arrived at around 8 and left at around 10. Does that sound about right to you?
Yeah, give or take a few minutes.
And approximately, when was the last time you spoke with Nicole? I'm trying to get a timeline going of how things played out before she was killed.
Well, to tell you the truth, I didn't really speak to her all day on Saturday. The last time I spoke to her was Friday evening, right before she left. Nicole and I really hadn't been making much small talk since the divorce was going on long.
Yeah, I know firsthand how rough those can be.
Oh yeah, well, I'm afraid I don't know what was going on in her personal life. She was in and out of this place like clockwork, hardly told me a thing.
I don't suppose she would have. From what you can remember, from before this whole divorce thing came underway, did she have any enemies that you can think of? A teacher she had conflicts with, or maybe a student that caused her trouble?
The only student I can think that would cause her any trouble was the one she was going to move in with once we sold the house.
Zachary Norton.
Yeah, what do you know about him?
Well, naturally, we questioned him, but he was at a campus event that night. At least a dozen witnesses have confirmed it so far, and that includes 2 campus security guards.
Well, like I said, Nicole and I really haven't been talking about our career or personal life, so I wouldn't know of anyone else.
Okay, well, let's get back to where you were at the time of the murder. When I spoke with Jay, he told me that you got into a bit of an argument with one of his patrons. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, I hate to say it, but it was about sports.
Sports.
There was a ball game on TV, and I started knocking on the guy who was rooting for the opposite team. He got loud and obnoxious, and I lost my temper.
Well, they do say you shouldn't discuss politics and religion with people you don't know. I guess they can add sports to that list.
I'm pretty embarrassed about it looking back. Not one of my best moments.
Well, Jay said he switched stations at around 10, right after he broke up your shouting match and right before you left.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Quite a coincidence, wouldn't you say?
And how's that?
That you get into a random shouting match that everyone witnesses at just about the exact time that your wife is murdered.
What are you trying to say here, Detective?
Nothing. Just seems like quite a weird coincidence. Wouldn't you say?
I certainly wouldn't have any idea some scumbag was stabbing my wife to death.
Of course not. I'm not trying to imply anything like that. It just seems like very strange to me. Yeah? Right now? Okay, tell him I'll be there as soon as I can. Bye. I'm needed back at the station.
Understood.
In the meantime, I'd like you to pass on a message to Miss Williams.
Excuse me?
Here's my contact information. Tell her I'd like to meet as soon as possible.
For what?
For this investigation, Doctor, I believe Amy can provide a great deal of help. I mean, she did spend a lot of time here, and maybe she overheard something.
Overheard something?
Yes. Maybe she overheard a phone call between Nicole and someone we don't know about. Or maybe Nicole mentioned something to her while she was working around the house.
Huh. Never really thought about it that way. I'll pass on the message.
All right. Thank you for your time, and I'll keep in touch.
Amy,
Yes, Frank?
could you come here for a minute?
Sorry about before. I didn't know you had another patient coming in today.
Another patient? Oh, no, that wasn't a patient. Her name's Kate Isley. She's a detective. She was here about Nicole.
Did they find the guy that did it?
Not exactly. She wanted me to give this to you. She'd like to meet with you whenever you're available. She doesn't think that Nicole's murder was a mugging gone bad like we thought. She thinks her murder was premeditated.
What? Oh my god!
I know.
I can't believe this. They're saying someone tracked her down and...
That's shocking to me as well. Anyway, she'd like to ask you a few questions.
I don't know what kind of help I would be, but I'll definitely tell her anything she wants to know.
I know you will. I'm so sorry you're being dragged into all this.
I can't imagine how you must be feeling.
Wow, it's been a rough couple of days. Now with this on top of everything, it's really taken its toll.
I bet. You should really try to rest. You look exhausted.
Feel exhausted?
You know, I'm really glad you decided to hire me again in spite of all these unpleasant circumstances. I want you to know I'm here for you. You and Nicole were always so sweet to me. And I want to return the favor.
You've always been a big help to me, too.
By doing some housework and tidying up a couple of rooms, I'm certainly no psychiatrist, but I know someone going through what you're going through needs more than that.
What are you saying?
I'm saying I want to do more for you. How about I stop by later tonight and make you dinner?
You want to make me dinner?
When's the last time you actually sat down and had a decent meal since all of this has happened?
I'm not saying no, but why are you doing this?
I want to be there for you. You were definitely there for me when I needed somebody.
I was?
When I tell most people that I want to be a writer, they usually just roll their eyes or give me a half-assed pep talk. You, on the other hand, you believed in me. Now, I know this might sound cheesy and all, but it really meant a lot to me, and I want to return the favor.
So what time can I expect you?
How's about 7?
7 would be great.
Alright, well now that that's settled, I'll get back to some housework.
Amy, I could really use a friend these days. You just had to leave your shoe prints all over the place, didn't you, John? God damn it.
Need any help in there?
No, I'm fine. You've done enough for one evening. If I had known you were this good of a cook, I would have hired you to cook for me years ago.
Oh, stop.
I'm serious. Has your writing career not taken off? I would have told you to take up cooking.
I wouldn't say my writing career took off. It was only one production.
Well, still, having a production of your work is still a step in the right direction.
I certainly wouldn't go that far.
And you're meeting with your literary agent.
I am, and it's all thanks to you, Frank. Cheers.
Cheers. You know, I've been doing a little bit of writing myself.
That's exciting. You're writing again?
Still isn't easy. I've been meaning to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a chance to meet with Detective Isley yet?
Yeah, she came over around 4 this afternoon and stayed for about half an hour.
Would you mind telling me what kind of questions she asked you?
Mostly basic things, like how long I've been working for you and Nicole, and the last time I spoke with her. And she asked me if I noticed anything out of the ordinary.
Out of the ordinary.
Yeah, like if anyone stopped over while Nicole was home.
What'd you tell her?
Well, given your profession, I said that the occasional patient stops over for a session.
My patient. She asked you about my patients.
Oh no. Once I mentioned your patients, she didn't press the matter.
Is there anything else?
No, that was basically it. Hopefully she got something out of what I gave her.
Yeah, hopefully.
So you're writing again?
Yeah, actually, the murder mystery play I was telling you about, I finished the first draft the other night.
Really? I'd love to read it.
It's on my laptop.
Let's take a look. Act 1, Scene 1. A suite in a Las Vegas hotel. Well, as a Vegas native, I'm intrigued so far.
So, how's the formatting?
Formatting is good, but...
Oh, there's a but.
Well, I'm just noticing at first glance that you have a lot of exposition in this character's opening paragraph.
Is that bad?
Not necessarily. I mean, I feel like you should hold off on some of it, but see, if you introduce this much backstory right away, it'll be difficult for the audience to keep up.
Well, housekeeper, playwright, cook, and now critic.
That's only my personal opinion. Didn't you say you wanted feedback?
I'm getting lighten up. Even if you told me this is the biggest pile of crap, I would never be upset.
I certainly don't think it's a pile of crap. I mean, sure, there may be some unnecessary expository stuff, like here and there, but it looks like it's flowing really well.
Glad to hear it. I'll send you a copy later.
Can't wait.
You know, I've had a really great time tonight, Amy. It's been a long time since I had the pleasure of spending time with someone like you.
I had a really great time tonight too, Frank. Actually, best time since I've had since being out here. You know, people say LA is where you get your big break, where the dreams come true. But what they don't really tell you is just how lonely it can be.
You didn't come here just to make me dinner, did you?
Is it that obvious?
Well, yeah.
So, what would you like to do now?
A few ideas. Let me get that.
Evening, Frank. Oh, hello again.
John, I wasn't expecting you this time of night.
I know, but something suddenly came up and I was in town and I figured why not stop by to talk about it with Dr. Irving.
Let's see, Amy, could you please give us a few minutes?
Sure.
Well, I certainly didn't mean to interrupt your housework.
What are you doing here?
I'm afraid we've run into a slight bump in the road.
What?
This morning I got a good look at my car's passenger door. It's covered in scratches. It's a goddamn mess. You know, it looks like some punk with a pair of keys decided to have some fun.
John, what the hell does that have to do with anything? You were just coming all the way down here to tell me about some scratches in your car?
Where do you think those scratches came from? I'm willing to bet every last penny of that 40 grand you gave me, my car got scratched up the night I went into the city.
Would you keep your voice down? So your car got a little scratched.
I'd say it got a lot more than a little scratched.
What did we say?
I just wanted you to be aware. I'll stop by here tomorrow morning then.
Stop by here for what?
The repair money.
Repair money? John, I gave you $40,000.
That money was for me to head into the city and take care of your problem. If I hadn't been there that night, my car wouldn't have been damaged. Plus, I need a couple bucks here and there to fix some of the appliances at my apartment. I mean,
Man, oh man, I've had my fair share of delusional patients, but you're truly something else. We agreed on $40,000 and that's what you got. Now you have the audacity to come here and demand more money?
given everything I've given you, I believe I'm entitled to a little something extra.
Excuse me?
Oh, if it hadn't been for the service I provided, you wouldn't have any of this. This house, your little girlfriend. Most guys in your situation will be willing to piss away their entire life savings to have that.
Yeah, well, most guys don't have the LAPD breathing down their necks.
What?
You screwed up, John. You made a couple of stupid mistakes that I'm taking the heat for.
What are you talking about?
The shoe prints. They found your shoe prints in the mud by the dumpster. Now they know someone was there waiting for Nicole. They now know this whole thing was premeditated.
Holy shit!
It's too late, John. I don't know you anything. The detective already questioned me and Amy.
So that's it? Some detective makes you crap your pants and we part ways? We're in this together, Frank, whether you like it or not. I mean, let's not forget who killed whose wife.
Will you shut up?
Oh, you think soon-to-be wife number 2's gonna hear me?
I said shut up.
When she starts screwing some college kid, what's the murder plot going to be then, huh?
Get out.
Not until I get what I'm entitled to.
You're not entitled to anything. I said get out.
Okay then. I just hope for your sake the police don't question me. I think they'd find it rather interesting how informed I am about your wife being murdered and how I got $40,000 richer at the exact moment you got $40,000 poorer.
What?
Like I said earlier, we're in this together.
Hello. No, yeah. Nicole wouldn't have left that in her office. It's a brown folder, right? Okay, I see. Yeah, I think I saw it upstairs. Yeah, I'll drop it off to the university tomorrow. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Is that a friend of your wife? Your late wife?
You think you can blackmail me, John? Is that it?
I'm only giving you the facts.
Fine. Here's a fact. You're the criminal, John. You're the one who rammed that shank right into Nicole. If you start talking to the police now, they'll just throw your ass back in prison. Only this time, it won't be for stealing cars, it'll be for murder.
Prison? I've been there before, Frank. I can handle it. How about you? Know how to fight? Know how to protect yourself? Know how to stay on your toes?
Are you willing to say that you'd spend the rest of your life in prison just to get back at me, or just to bring me down? That the man who moaned and groaned about being in charge of his own life is willing to throw it all away just to get back at me? You're not that stupid, John. Let me give you some psychiatric advice. Go home. Piss away that 40 grand. And live the rest of your pathetic life in peace and away from me.
You always did have a way of dishing out advice, Frank.
Amy?
What was all that about?
Sometimes a patient will be in the area and they think they're having some kind of emergency and they'll stop by.
That seems kind of rude.
Certainly not encouraged, but there's only so much we can do about it. It's all been taken care of.
I think I should get going.
Amy, you don't have to run off. It's been taken care of.
It's not that, Frank.
What is it?
It's what happened before the doorbell rang.
That.
I just feel like things are moving too fast.
I see.
I mean, given all that's happened, don't you think it'd be wise to cool things down a bit?
Maybe you're right. I guess we got caught up in the moment earlier.
We did, didn't we? I'll see you for work tomorrow. Goodbye, Frank.
Where is my... My pen, my pen. Detective Isley, what can I do for you?
I'm gonna have to ask you to come down to the station.
I don't understand. There's more questions about Nicole. I can answer them here.
This isn't about Nicole.
Excuse me? I'm not following you.
This is about Amy Williams.
Amy, what about her?
She was murdered last night.
What?
The landlord found her body in her apartment earlier this morning. She was stabbed to death.
God. Oh my God.
A steak knife was unaccounted for in her kitchen, which means whoever broke in killed her with one of her own knives. Weapon could be anywhere by now.
I mean, murdered? Murdered?
You can imagine the shock this was for me. Here I am, investigating the murder of your wife. And now this.
You think I did?
Answer it. Tell whoever it is you'll be unavailable.
Thank you for agreeing to see me on such short notice, Dr. Irving. I've been going out of my mind. But who are you? Dr. Irving, you said you could speak to me on the phone this morning. This is an emergency. What's going on here?
Detective Kate Isley, Homicide LAPD.
Homicide? Oh my. Is this about his wife? I've been praying nonstop for you guys to find the one responsible. She was such a sweet and kind-hearted woman. She'd always say hi to me whenever I come over for one of my sessions. And when I heard what happened on the news, I just couldn't believe it.
John, I really need to talk to this detective. We'll have to reschedule your appointment.
Reschedule? But Dr. Irving, I just found out this morning my ex may have stolen an additional $40,000 from me. $40,000. That's a lot of money, don't you think so? Oh.
Look, detective, clearly he needs to talk to me. And as his doctor, I can't order him away when he's this kind of mindset. Give me a few minutes with him. When he calms down and leaves, I promise I'll go to the station with you.
All right, I'll be waiting outside.
Oh. Hey, that was quite the speech on my part. I think I have the potential to be a great writer. You know who else I think like to write? That housekeeper of yours. I mean, judging by all the books in her apartment, it's a safe assumption to make.
You son of a bitch. Why?
Do you really have to ask?
You killed her because I wouldn't get any more money?
I did it out of principle. Did you really think after all I risked on your behalf, you could just throw me under the bus? That's not the way this works, Frank. Anyway, a girl like that always snooping around the house, who knows what she might have been up to. I did both of us a favor.
You followed her. Broke into her apartment. My God, you're an animal!
An animal? Is that an official psychiatric diagnosis?
You're not going to get away with this, John. Do you hear me? You're not going to get away with this.
Keep telling yourself that.
Oh, yeah?
Take a look at what just happened. You knew I murdered your housekeeper. Why didn't you say anything? Because we're in this together. Now that I've taken care of not one, but two meddling women in your life, where's the extra cash?
Excuse me?
I think another $40,000 will do it.
And if I refuse?
I'll have a chat with that pretty detective outside.
You still sticking to that brilliant plan, are you? The plan where you're sent back to prison for the rest of your life?
I wouldn't be so sure of that. I mean, after all, you're the shrink. It was your job to give me advice. I mean, geez, what kind of power did someone like me have, a deadbeat parolee, against someone like you? To a jury, it looked like you got inside my head and twisted me into doing all those horrible things. And once you got a hold of me, I became as much of a victim as your poor wife and sweet little housekeeper.
You really think someone's going to believe that garbage? Are you really that delusional, John? Are you really that sick?
I've played the victim before. I know I can do it again.
Oh yeah, and when the hell was that?
Right here, in this study. Remember when I told you about the guy who tried to shank me in the laundry room? I lied. He never came after me. I went after him. I was the one who started it, and I was the one who finished it. But if that case were presented in front of a jury and you were on it, you would have said I acted out in self-defense and found me innocent. Now, if I could fool someone like you, a doctor, I think I could fool just about anybody. What do you think?
It'll never work. Still your word against mine.
Oh, yeah? And what is that worth, Frank? Your word isn't exactly gospel these days, is it?
Do you really expect me to give you another $40,000?
If you want out of this, then yeah, I do. Expect me here tomorrow night. By the way, did you get a chance to check out the new shoes? After you told me the police had molds of the old ones, I figured I'd change up my wardrobe. Chucked the old shoes in the dumpster last night. Now, there's nothing connecting me to the scene of your wife's murder. I really appreciate you tipping me off like that, Frank. Thank you. Now I'll leave you to your friend outside.
Is there a problem?
No.
Good, let's go.
Who is it?
Detective Isley.
Just a second. What can I do for you, Detective?
You can talk to me. There have been some developments since yesterday.
I figured as much.
Well, let's start with Nicole. We followed up on several suspects in the area who have a history of mugging-related crimes.
And
there's no doubt at this point, this murder was premeditated and planned to look like a random mugging.
I see.
Whoever this person was, he knew Nicole's plans. He knew when she would be in that lot. The amount of information this person possessed is remarkable. I'm going to have to ask you some more questions now.
Wait, I have an alibi. Like I told you before, it was at Jay's bar that night and you confirmed it.
I'm not talking about where you were. I'm talking about who might have known Nicole's schedule for that night.
How would I know that? We've been over this already. I don't know who Nicole shared her plans with.
You did know she was going to the conference. Maybe you mentioned it to someone. These things sometimes do have a way of coming up in conversation. When my ex-husband was moving out and I go out with friends, they usually ask, "Hey, what's he up to?" I tell them, never thinking anything of it. Perhaps you did the same?
Can't say I did. Besides, even if I had mentioned somewhere where Nicole was going to be, I had no way of knowing her minute-by-minute plans.
Oh, really? Huh. Because you told me, I've been to that lot before with my wife. Sounds to me like you used to take her to these conferences.
Where are you going with this, Detective?
Well, if you used to take her to these conferences, wouldn't you know when she'd be at that lot?
Well, in light of the divorce and all that was going on, do you really think that I would remember something like that? I mean, you've mentioned your ex multiple times. But when the two of you were in the middle of your divorce, were you invested in where he was every minute of every day?
With all due respect, Doctor, my ex-husband wasn't being viciously stabbed to death while I was sitting at some bar getting in a fight over sports.
I didn't tell anyone about Nicole's plans for that night.
Okay, well, Is it possible that Nicole mentioned something about her schedule that night while one of your sessions was going on? Maybe one of your patients overheard her.
I'm gonna have to stop you right there. You know how ridiculous this sounds?
Well, given everything that's happened to the women who lived or worked here, it doesn't sound ridiculous at all to me.
Nicole never discussed her plans while my patients were here.
Okay, well, I've been going over everything you told me about Amy Williams, and I need you to clarify a few things. You said she left here at around 9:30 that night,
Yeah, give or take a few minutes.
and you remained here by yourself for the rest of the night, correct?
Like I told you before, I never left my house that night, and I've never been to her apartment either.
Well, according to the coroner, time of death was approximately 10 p.m. And Miss Williams' apartment is about 15 minutes from here, which meant she was probably killed soon after arriving home, which leads me to two possible theories. One, that the suspect was waiting for her at her apartment, or two, that the suspect followed her there.
You think she was followed?
Well, when she was here with you, did she ever mention being followed?
No.
Was she upset or worried? Did anyone else know she was here?
No.
I had hoped to have gotten a lot more out of this. You know, out of all the cases I've worked on, Nicole and Amy's really stand out. When you look at the similarities, their association with this address and how they both died, it's almost as if both murders were committed by the same person.
The same person.
I can't be sure, of course. But you know what I've learned about murderers, Doctor? They think they're like gods. They think that for whatever reason, they have the authority to decide who lives and who dies. Well, I've lost track of all these gods I've seen put away. And this guy is no different. When he's convicted in that courtroom, I will be there. I will be there to witness the look on his face. And the satisfaction I get when I see that look, it's about the main thing that keeps me going. You can expect to hear from my office if we have any updates.
What is it?
Who do you think?
Sorry, I didn't realize I locked it.
Let's get this over with. You got it?
Here you go. Help yourself.
What the hell is this?
You screwed up, John.
What are you talking about? Where's the money?
You were so desperate to prove your sick little point, you screwed yourself in more ways than one. Had you just walked away after Nicole, everything would have been done. But no! You had to get greedy. Now it's going to cost you.
Cost me? No, Frank, this whole thing is going to cost you. It began costing you the second you uttered those 5 little words. Can you kill my wife? Now enough! Give me what you promised or things are going to get a hell of a lot worse.
You know what I learned from all this? I learned it really does pay to listen to your patients. Especially that story you told me about the guy in the laundry room. How you twisted the story to make it sound like it was self-defense when actually it was just murder.
I'm sick of this shit.
So am I. Hello, this is Frank Irving. An intruder broke into my house and I shot him. No. Hello, this is Dr. Frank Irving. A patient tried to kill me and I shot him.
You know, Dr. Irving, it's not often that I'm at a loss for words.
What do you mean say, Detective?
I want you to tell me what happened. I know you already spoke to the officer outside, but I need to hear the whole thing from you.
John Danes was my patient. He showed up at my door out of the blue, said he had something urgent to tell me, something that just couldn't wait.
What was it?
Told me he knew who killed Nicole and Amy.
Go on.
News like that, I had to let him in without question. I was thinking about what you said the other day, about how maybe a patient overheard something. So that's when I let him in, and it was then, that's when he told me that it was he who killed Nicole and Amy.
Are you saying that this guy, John Danes, your patient, showed up out of nowhere and confessed to killing both your wife and your housekeeper? Am I getting this right?
You know, ordinarily, I wouldn't be able to discuss this given the confidentiality I have with my patients, but since John is dead, that confidentiality no longer applies. He's killed before. You can check in his record, you can see that he was sent to prison the first time, but during his time in prison the first time around, he stabbed a guy in the prison laundry room. If you don't believe me, you can check with the prison, they'll confirm there was a murder during his time there.
I didn't say I didn't believe you, and I did check his record before I left. He has quite a history. But I'm just trying to put the pieces together. Why would he kill Nicole and Amy?
John could not stand rejection of any woman of any kind. You can check his record. You can see that he was sent to prison this past time for stealing a car and breaking into his ex-girlfriend's house when he thought she was cheating on him. John was infatuated with Nicole and Amy. And when they showed no interest in him, that's when he decided to kill him. With Nicole, he probably just followed her to the hotel and then killed her the following night. With Amy, he probably just followed her home like you said.
So, after his confession, he pulled out the shank?
That's when I shot him. Tried to get up, shot him again.
The gun was here?
Yeah, I pulled it out of the closet last week. We bought the gun when Nicole and I got married. Given the recent circumstances, I figured I should have it close by just in case if I need to protect myself. I just never thought I'd have to use it.
You do realize that we're going to need more than your word as proof that this guy killed your wife and your housekeeper. Despite everything, it's still only your word against his, and given we're never going to hear his word on this subject, it makes everything all the more complicated.
Yeah, I understand.
We're going to have to compare his shoes to the mold of the shoe prints we took at the scene of Nicole's murder. Then we're going to have to analyze his vehicle for evidence and see if anyone remembers seeing it near the hotel. And then, given everything we know, we'll have to see if we can link him to Amy.
Sure, all the evidence will be there.
I hope so. I want this whole thing to be over.
Yeah, you and me both, Detective.
All right, Dr. Irving, I know this has been a rough night for you, but I'm going to have to ask you to come down to the station for an official statement.
Mind I grab my coat?
Yeah, sure. Make it quick. Hello? Oh, I'm at Dr. Irving's place. We're about to head up. You did? And? Are you absolutely positive? I see. Thanks, bye.
Hey, I'm all set. Is something wrong?
We're in the process of analyzing an item that was found at the scene of Amy's murder. This item was found a couple feet from her body and had her blood on part of it. Apparently, it fell out of the killer's pocket during the struggle. But I just heard from the lab, and they finally have a match with the fingerprints on it.
John's, I take it?
No, yours.
What?
This item was a pen. It had the inscription, "To the Herb Man," written on it. We pulled your fingerprints off a water bottle you used at the station the other day, and we compared them to the prints on the pen. Sure enough, it's a perfect match.
My pen! My pen!
I've got to admit, that whole story of him confessing everything to you was quite an impressive touch. For a split second, you even had me thinking.
This isn't possible. Amy must have taken it. Yeah, Amy must have taken it home by mistake.
Well, then why weren't her prints on it?
Oh my God, it was John. John took it!
His prints weren't on it either. The only prints on the pen were yours. And you told me you'd never been to Amy's apartment before. So how does a pen with only your prints on it wind up in her apartment a couple feet from her body with her blood on it?
I don't know how he did it, but he took the pen and planted it and set me up.
Now he's setting you up? That's rich, Frank. For what possible purpose? What's his motive in all of this? The last I recall, it wasn't John in the middle of a bitter and humiliating divorce with Nicole. And it wasn't John having dinner with Miss Williams right before she's murdered.
You need to listen to me. You need
And
to...
you know what? I never did ask you, why were you having dinner with Miss Williams that night? I doubt she was there to do housekeeping at that hour.
John set me up. He set me up.
Did you play the grieving widower card with her? Did you think that was your best chance to win her over? I bet she saw right through you, didn't she? And she probably went screaming out that door. Didn't make you feel good, now did it?
No. It was nothing like that.
And yet, another rejection in your life, Frank. And so soon after your wife was going to leave you for a much younger man. It sounds to me if anyone couldn't handle rejection, it was you. And you had the motive to kill Nicole and Amy. Turn around.
I'm telling you the truth, for the love of God.
Frank Irving, I'm arresting you for the murder of Amy Williams. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and you will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be provided for you.
You cannot do this. He set me up. He stole it and set me up. I'm an innocent man.
To tell you the truth, I have been waiting for this from the moment we first met. Let's go, Doc.
It was him. It was John Danes. Listen to me, damn it.